It was not a blue wave, but Democrats made some gains in traditionally Republican areas in central Ohio. Of course, Democrats dominated Columbus City races for mayor, city council, and school board, a feat made easier by a total lack of Republican competition. In the suburbs, Republicans did better, holding on to seats in Dublin, Grove City, and Gahanna. But Hilliard elected its first Democrat to city council in 30 years. A second Democrat barely lost there. Reynoldsburg elected its first Democratic mayor in many years. Democrats now controlled Westerville's city council, and all the endorsed Republicans in Upper Arlington lost. Joe Mas, how are Democrats feeling after their performance in the suburbs? Do they want more?
Democrats always, well, each party always wants more, but I think that we have to celebrate the fact that maybe we're finding a way to do this. But I'll tell you what I do celebrate, and that is that we saw a lot of new people who had never run before, and a lot of young people interested in contributing to their communities in this way. And that kind of enthusiasm you can't buy.
Is that what happened, that some of the incumbents who had been in office for several years decided not to run, and that's what perhaps led to a party shift on city council?
Boy, I haven't seen that necessarily, and of course I'm focusing, I live in Worthington, and as far as that's concerned, everybody was trying to hang on.
Yeah. Mike, Red Suburbs, is that a harbinger of things to come next year?
No, not at all. Look, Reynoldsburg, Republicans got destroyed in Reynoldsburg, but if you look at the demographics of Reynoldsburg today versus 10 years ago, they're completely night and day different, which isn't a bad thing, it's just a fact. But look, the three countywide races, Republicans, well, there was a couple competitive. The three competitive ones, Republicans won 2 of them, okay? So 3 competitive countywide races, Republicans won 2 of them. That's good for our party. Now, look, we took it on the chin. We didn't even run candidates in the city. Hilliard picked up a Democrat first time. But overall, I think Republicans held their own. They won competitive races at the county level, and we're going to have new leadership in the county in 2020, and we look forward to fixing our problems.
Should probably note that those races were judicial races without a partisan label on the ballot, and those races are always kind of a little weird. I don't think you can read too much into whether one party or the other, won in those races. There's just too many different factors at play.
Slate cards, though, Mike, both parties put a lot of money into slate cards.
Yeah.
So that's a Republican slate card, and it had Jody Thomas, and Judge Mingo on there on your Republican slate card.
Amy Salerno, who lost.
Who lost was on it, too.
Any coincidence, Laura, that Westerville votes for 2 Democratic city council members when the debate was there, the Democratic debate was there recent weeks?
I don't know that there's any connection there. I do think that overall that there are significant trends showing that the suburbs are turning blue and the more rural areas are turning more red. Mike Dawson, who runs the OhioElectionsResults.com website, has got some data coming out soon that shows that those trends were already in progress, but then under Donald Trump, they really kind of amped up. In both in the blue, on the blue side for the suburbs and on the red side for the Republicans, or for the rural areas.
Kind of surprised me, and it actually, Mike's comment on the sample ballots reminded me of this. Of about 180,000 votes that were cast, only about 24,000 were early voters. I don't think that's good, and it's not good. That's what made me think about the sample ballots, because it's a lot easier to provide the sample ballots if you go over to the Board of Elections and you've got volunteers up front. But if you wait until the actual election day, it's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher to fill the however many precincts we have.
I know the sample ballots arrived in my mailbox the day before on that Monday. It was good timing on their part.
But if you go vote early, you will have actually a volunteer approach you and hand it to you.
Yeah. Sticking on the suburbs for a little bit, Mike, is this a problem for Donald Trump? I mean, he's not going to win in the urban areas. He's going to lose by big margins. If he loses in the suburbs by even larger margins than he lost last time, that's not. Are there enough rural votes to make up for that?
Well, that's a good question, Mike. We've got to check voter participation and where the enthusiasm will be. Who's the nominee going to be for the Democrats? I mean, that's going to determine voter enthusiasm. But at the end of the day, Eastern Ohio, far parts of Northeast Ohio have red country now. Youngstown is now Trump country. Eastern Ohio is Trump country, and you're seeing him do very well there. So can he make that up, what he's going to lose in some of the suburbs? Probably.
Well, yeah, I think that's the big question as far as what you can take from this race and apply it to next year. Like, yes, the suburbs are getting a little bluer, but as the number of voters in those areas greater than the number of voters in the more rural counties that are trending redder, and can Democrats still pick up votes in those places to not lose as badly?
Right, and I agree with Mike. I think it's going to depend heavily on who the Democrats pick for their nominee,
Yeah, moderates.
and whether or not that he or she can drive turnout.
Yeah, moderates may not be willing to vote against Donald Trump if it's a far-left candidate running for president. In the city election, yes, we can. You know, they made a lot of noise, but in the end, they really didn't mount a serious challenge. The closest yes, we can candidate finished 20,000 votes behind the last place qualifying city council candidate.
Yeah,
Joe, what happened
one
there?
could say that there is no substitute for organization, to have the institution of the party behind you. You can do it, but it's an uphill battle, and that's what they face. It's not that they didn't have some success. I mean, if you look at the percentages and so on, 8%, 9%, and so on, it's not bad, but it's tough to knock off the organization.
Mike, could it be that Columbus voters are just happy with the way things are? They like their mayor, they like their city council, they're not going to make a change. Republicans didn't even field candidates, so the reason why candidates don't run is they don't think they can win.
Yeah, well, shame on my party for not fielding candidates. Let's just be very frank about it. But at the end of the day, if we don't have these debates in the public discourse, if we don't have a newspaper in town that is challenging our elected officials at City Hall and the mayor's office. Now, they did a good series on Sullivan Avenue recently to show the disparity between the millionaires in downtown Columbus and the rest of us living in other parts of the city. So I think once we're able to find a new leader for our county party, recruit good candidates, we're going to bring a fight to City Hall.
Well, I mean, Mayor Ginther did receive, or against him, I guess there was 6% write-in vote. That's pretty high.
Yeah. Is that high? I saw that. I was like, is that high for an unopposed candidate? I don't know. It's hard. I don't
Higher
pay
than Coleman.
attention.
Higher than Coleman was.
Okay, well, there you go.
unopposed, so.
I mean, I would guess that the city council isn't too happy to have Bill Bush and the Dispatch on their case these days. Just talking about accountability by the newspaper, but anyway.